to creativity to cash. I'm Gabrielle and I'm going to be your teacher. I'm not sure exactly how long this is going to take, so if at any point you need to pause this video, do anything else, just let me know in the comments how you're doing when you're watching this. I'm recording this live, but most of you are going to be watching this later, so take a sip of water. If you don't have water or sparkling water or any of your favorite beverages, coffee, grab one. So I've got my notes here. I've been working very hard on this content because it really matters to me. It's really a process that's helped me so much. Drop into my body, stop energy looping, and that's a big thing for me, and I know it will be for you too. Like I said, I don't know exactly how long we're going to be here. I think it's kind of like when people did HIIT workouts, right? Like once you found out you could do an hour's worth of hard body work, it's 11:22 right now, in 15 minutes, people love that. So while I don't think this is going to take 15 minutes, I do want you to know it's the potency as we move through this, not the hour. And I want you to take that into your own life too. Like, where can you remove, like, oh, I need to meditate for 30 minutes or I need to run for an hour. Like, let's change those things to like move your body, share the message, right? All right, that's just a little bonus riff. So what we're going to do first, again, welcome, I'm Gabrielle, and this is Fusion, Clarity, Creativity, Cash. We're going to do a brain dump. So I want you to find a piece of paper, and I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to a minute, and I want you to write out everything in your head, and then we're going to meditate. What I find is really helpful is writing the things that are just surface down, because then you can come back to them later and they're not trying to remind you. If your brain's anything like mine and I don't do what my brain is asking me to, it will keep reminding me, which is its just way of saying like, hey, don't forget about this, don't forget about this, which can be anything from like call the dog sitter back to get cheese. Like it can be anything. So right now, I just want you to, like I said, get a blank piece of paper and a pen and just write down what's in your mind. Okay, we'll take 30 seconds to a minute. And this is gonna be active. So again, if you don't have your water, your pen, your paper, please go get those things. Okay. All right, so brain dump time, and repeat this process again and again. Okay, stop talking. Brain dump, okay, brain dump. Brain dump. You're just writing stream of consciousness thoughts. There's no wrong way to do this. Okay, I'm gonna give you about 10 more seconds, so just write anything else that's on your head. Okay. All right. Awesome. So there's no wrong way to do that, but you might find that helpful. The book The Artist Way has people do basically a giant brain dump, a stream of consciousness thoughts every morning. And the essence of this workshop and that practice is to clear out your mind so creativity can come in. Because if your mind's working overtime to remind you to get oranges all day, it's not going to be able to design a character or a stream of income or the things we're going to be talking about today. So now that those stream of consciousness things are done, let's let them go and we'll come back to them later. You're going to put your feet on your floor and roll your shoulders back, side out, and let's take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. One more time, in and out, and one more for good measure, in and out. I'm going to be teaching the string meditation now, and this is something I'd like for you to come back to a lot, just this practice, the brain dump, the breath, and then the string. So the string meditation is similar to the brain dump, but oftentimes we have these things that are pulling us. So it could be like a text from your mom that you haven't responded to. It could be that you need to sweep the porch. It could be that you haven't sent that client invoice. It could be energetic, like you feel weird about this situation or you're predicting this situation. And I'm doing this with my hands because these are strings that pull us out of the present moment. And the goal for me, for you, is for you to be in the present moment as much as possible. Excuse my allergies. Okay, so I want you to sit here, feel the chair, feel your body, feel wherever you are, and I want you to imagine these strings and where they're pulling you. And this is something, honestly, you could do 7 to 10 times a day. Just what is pulling you where? Just want you to notice, and it should come up pretty quickly. And if it's helpful for you, you can notice the thickness of the string, the lightness of the string, just what is pulling you and where. And let's breathe into that. And some people call these fragments, but what I want you to do now is just take your hands and cut the strings. Okay? And feel your energy coming back into your body. Feel your energy coming back into your body. If you need to write those strings down, put them on the brain dump list, which we'll come back to later. Okay. Hopefully you're feeling much better. Those really help. So how does everybody feel? Just let me know in the comments when you're watching this. How do you feel now, and how do you want to feel? And if you're watching right now, how do you feel now, and how do you want to feel? Okay? Let me know. All right, so we're going to be going through knowing thyself, knowing thy numbers, and knowing thy calendar. This might change. So for me, I did this and I was like, came up with one plan. So I made like a big schedule, a very tight spreadsheet, and then ended up with a lot of wide open spaces. And there's this practice, and I want you to remember these. It's MMM or CB, make more money or cut back. So at first I was like, I love this. I'm going to make more money. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do that. And I had this like big schedule. And then I was like, after I sat with it for a while, which you might need to too, I realized that I did not want to do more things from October to December. And while we're doing this practice, you can do it any quarter you want. But I kind of got to the vibe that it was enough. And I'm going to lead you through some journal questions for that. But it's the not knowing ahead of time. So planning your month is a good place to start. Planning your week is a good place to start. Planning your day is a good place to start. But what I want to get you to is that you know your expenses, your calendar, your priorities, your energy level for 3 months, so that you're operating like some of the wealthiest people in the world. Some of the people I know, they only do annual plans. Like if you think about a true business wouldn't randomly invest in something in the moment. Most CEOs that I go straight for, they put me in their 2025, 2026 plans. It's kind of a sketchy belief or normalcy in the coaching industry that people just throw money at you any day of the week. And while that's absolutely possible, it's more regulating and feasible for you to plan these quarters and know what's coming in, which is what we're getting into. So what I want for you is not coming onto the internet with swirling, whirling chaos that leads to unplanned spending plans for yourself, other people, or an influx of work that you can't manage. So we do not want to be coming onto the internet like a tornado. And whatever life is, when it's good or when it's bad, my goal for you is not to still need to be churning out work, looking for clients, but I want you to feel supported, present, and not use work or money as your excuse to be distracted or confused. Hello, Armando. I'm from Alabama. I'm going to say that again. So when life is good or hard, my goal for you is to need to be still and present and not still churning for money or work. Feel supported in the present moment and not use money or work as an excuse to be confused or distracted. Okay. How does that feel? Let me know in the comments when you're rewatching this, that intention. So in order to do that, we need to get really clear. So we're going from confusion, which is what we just worked through. So anytime you're feeling confusion in the body, in the mind, it typically means that you are stringed up, you're being pulled in multiple directions, or there's just too much going on in your head. Like your head's fuzzy, it feels heavy, might even get headaches. So whenever you feel confused, it's not the time to try to create creative things or cash. Because again, I want you to be supported in the moment and present and not using work as a distraction to try to turn and make money and come onto the internet like a tornado. So when you feel confused, which you will because you're human, go back to doing the brain dump, the meditation, and the strings. You could do it every day. So now we're going to move from confusion to clarity. Okay, we're moving pretty quick. So let's get together, have a sip of water, and I want you to get out your journal or your piece of paper. And the first question, and you can pause this, go at any speed you want. Do you want more? Do you want more? More clients, more money? Or do you want more time? But first, let's just answer this question. Do you want more? Which feels better in your body? More or less? More or less? If you answered yes, please answer these questions for me and then I'll go to no. But if you didn't, if you answered no, if you know you don't want more, just listen to this. Do you want more? If so, what do you need? How much more? And if you don't know this, it's really easy. I want you to get a spreadsheet and just go to your bank account. What did you spend last month? Yes, I am. What do you normally spend? I want you to have a spreadsheet of your expenses, and that's very easy to do. And then I want you to track everything that's normally coming in. Is that your paychecks, your client payments, etc.? Tell me what that is. And later, or now, pause this video. If you want more clients, money, etc., what's the number? And then how much time do you have? So this is like the matchmaking stuff. So we're gonna see, perhaps you need $800 more because you know you want to buy more Christmas presents, or perhaps you need $8,000 because you want to go on a luxury vacation. How much time do you have? So we're marrying the cost and time with the money. So if you want $8,000 more and you only have 5 free hours a week, this is going to take you some time. What can you offer in your business sustainably for the next 3 months that can bring in $8,000 or $3,200 a month with the 5 to 6 hours you have? And sometimes what happens in this is you realize, hey, I actually don't have the time. So what do you do then? You, instead of make more money, UCB, you cut back. You cut back on your expenses or your alignment. So how would or could it flow? And we want to go for easy, right? Because my goal for you is not to be churning for money, work, but feel supported in the present and not use money or work as a confused distraction. Okay? What would it be like to have that be easy? So in that example of 5 to 6 hours a week, $8,000. If you're in the coaching industry, that could look like a group program. If you sell books, that could look like doing a book sale. If you're in a speaking circuit, that could look like doing 2 speaking gigs. I want you to take some time to write down how could or would it flow. And if you come up with something really easy that might be possible this quarter, might not, I want you just to write down your resistance to easy. It's most likely that the way the money can come in the next 3 months is the way it's been coming, because you need to create a system, a funnel, etc. So what's the easiest way, okay? The next question for you is, how would it feel to complete that? How would it feel to have made the money in an easy, sustainable way? And what does that look like? I'm gonna go through these questions again. So if you wanted more, if you wanted so much more, and you were just really feeling jazzed about that, there's nothing wrong with wanting more. What do you want? Why do you want it? How much time do you have? How or would and could it flow? Write down all of your resistance to it being easy. And how would it feel to feel complete? What does that look like? One more time. Do you want more? What do you need? Remember, how much money, what's your expenses? How much time do you have? We're matching it, we're marrying it. How would or could it flow? Writing down your resistance to that being easy. And how would it feel to be complete at the end of this year? What does that look like? Okay, if you don't want more, if I'm asking you, do you want more or do you want less? And you're like, oh, I want less. Do you have enough right now? Doing those expenses, are you flush at the end of the month, or are you overdrafting? Where are you? And if you are overdrafting and you don't want more, what can you cut? Do you need your house cleaned every week? Could you clean it bi-weekly? Do you need to be Instacarting your groceries? Could you go to the store? What can you cut? What can make life a little easier? Can you do your own nails? Like, could you cut that feels good? Sometimes when people want to spend less money, they just go ravaging, like cutting every expense in the whole world. It's really not what I want for you. I want you to pick things that make you feel good and just lean back, like lean it back in areas that maybe you're overspending. Like, I literally used to get flowers delivered that were $75 a week, and these are $4. Okay, and they're beautiful and I still love them, and it can be as simple as that, okay? So if you cut things and if you didn't need to work more, like let's say you work a full-time job and you decided to pause your side hustle, what would you do with that time? Knowing this is only for 90 days, what would you do with that time and how would you feel? To have enough to stop pushing and to stop the gap, the always having a gap from where you are now and where you want to be, what would that feel like? Okay, I'm going to ask you again like you said with those. If I ask you the question, do you want more or do you want less? And you're saying you want less. Do you have enough, truly? Can you look at your numbers? What could you cut that would still make you feel good? What would you do with the time? How would that feel? What would it feel like to have enough, to stop pushing, and to stop the gap? How does that feel? Okay, whoop, we're doing good. Let's take a little water break. We're getting through this pretty fast, guys, but this is heavy stuff, so you need to be pausing. That's when we get into clarity. So I want you to take 15 minutes today to go through your calendar, and you can do this any 90 days, but I want you to go through your calendar. What do you have going on October through December? Align them. Know your budget. Block, that means like if you have a hair appointment, put the hair appointment in there. If you have a nail appointment, put the nail appointment in there, plus your regular auto drafts. Block all the important things that you have going on. Is your niece's birthday coming up? Do you need to be shopping for Christmas gifts? My birthday's November 1st. Do you need to be buying me a gift? Take your PTO or align your client expectations. Again, block your time, expenses. What do you have going on October through December? Align them, know your budget. Block your expenses, block your calendar, block every important thing, and take your paid time off now and align your client expectations. Okay. That's a lot of clarity. So in order for you to get into creativity and cash, which is aligning that block with the other block, I need you to know why you're not doing it yet. So I'm gonna ask you a series of journal questions and I want you to write them down. So I'm gonna read it and then I want you to take a couple seconds to write it out. Are you ready? If you wanted more or you wanted less, tell me in your journal or in the comments if you'd rather, how do you act the opposite of that? Where do you spend randomly, overgive, and change your mind and show up on the internet like a tornado? How do you act the opposite of what you just told me you want? Where do you spend randomly, overgive, and change your mind? Okay, write that down. I'll do it with you. I'll read it for you again in case you forgot. How do you act opposite of this? Where do you spend randomly, overgive, and change your mind? Whatever you told me you wanted. How are you acting opposite of that in your real life? Why? Why are you doing that? Why are you acting the opposite of what you told me you wanted? Why are you showing up on the internet like a tornado and changing your mind? Or showing up in your own life and finances? FOMO. You say you don't want more, but then you get on the internet and you see someone having it, or they have a big goal and you want it. So how can you create an anchor in your intention knowing it's coming from your soul and it's only for 90 days? How can you create an anchor in your intention knowing it's only for 90 days? You'll be so much more clear when you intend things from your soul versus act wild and say it was your feminine energy is what I wrote down. You know, like you're like, oh, I just decided to launch this program, or I just decided to redecorate my bathroom, but it's not in the plans. And like, while we're all for spontaneity, I did this workshop 2.5 hours early because I felt called and was in the right space to do it. We can have flexibility, but we can't drive ourselves crazy just recreating the wheel all the time, quitting our jobs, creating new things. We're like wasting energy like crazy. So how can you create and anchor your intention knowing it's only for 90 days? So let's say you have a full-time job and you're like, I'm going to give myself October through December to focus on my family. Well, that will bring up a lot of FOMO. You'll be like, well, no one will ever remember me. I'll lose my Instagram audience. Nah, I was off Instagram for 2 years and I still have the same followers. The engagement did go way down though. But what is the FOMO? You need to write that down. We need to work through it, okay? How can you create and anchor your intention? Whether you're going to go for it, no matter what, even when it gets cold, even when you get lazy, even when you want to put your pajamas on, or you're going to stop going for it and you're going to be cool with that because you have other priorities. How are you going to anchor that intention? Okay. How can you trust yourself more through the end of the year? How can you listen to your own internal guidance versus the internet's? Write that down. How can you trust yourself even more through the end of the year? How can you trust yourself more? Listen to your internal guidance, not the internet's. Okay. How does it feel to know it's truly right for you? Does it feel good? How can you lock that in? Do you need a Post-it? Do you need an hourly affirmation? How does it feel to know what's truly right for you? How can you lock that in? Do you need a Post-it or a daily affirmation? Once you've written all this down, it's going to take a while to like sink into your system, but you're going to feel so good. Like now that I know what I want, I'm not showing up with desperate, weird energy. I'm planning things in the future and I feel so much better. So we're going to wrap things up. This was a lot of information, so please watch those multiple times. We're going to keep the momentum going. I am going to let you know, I put my email address, I think I put my email address below this. Reach out to me. I am going to be doing creativity coaching in 2025. So if that sounds like something fun for you, just email me and we can get you set up. So let's go back to meditation. Please email me and let me know how this went for you. Okay, let's go back to your brain dump. Now I want you to read this and I want you to make a star if you have an action to do, and this is something you can do every day, or cross it out if it doesn't matter, okay? Star, action, cross out if it doesn't matter. Okay. That might take you a minute, but I'm gonna come back to the meditation. So feet on the ground. Woo! Shoulders roll back. Actually, do a little prayer. Okay, ready? Do a little prayer. Whatever you believe in, feel free to insert here. I'm going to say God. God, thank you for letting me share this information with the people who heard it. My prayer is that it reaches them at the right time. My prayer is that it goes in their brain and sorts what needs to be sorted so they can show up for their families, if their families is what they need to be focusing on. Their bodies, if their bodies is what they need to be focusing on, or their work, if their work is what they need to be focusing on. I love you. Thank you for everyone who watches this video. Amen. All right, so we're going to go back to the strings. So take a deep breath in. Do you have any left? Okay. If you do, just cut them off. Take your hands to your heart. Take a deep breath in. And out. Let me know how this was for you. I love you.